Savannah and I had been together for 5 years. At first, it felt like something out of a movie. Rooftop dates, midnight walks, laughter for no reason. She was magnetic, confident, impossible to ignore. Part of me always felt like I was punching above my weight. That someone like her choosing me was almost too good to be true. We were engaged. The wedding was 3 months away. Lake venue, live band, 3-tier cake, and 78 guests. Savannah was running the show. I just nodded and paid. We met at a friend's birthday party. She wore a red dress and carried herself like she owned the room. I cracked a joke. She laughed. Within an hour, we were talking like we'd known each other forever. The first year was magic. Museums, wine nights, spontaneous getaways, couples pottery classes. It was sweet, almost too sweet. Then things shifted. In year 3, she moved in. Not officially. It started with a toothbrush, then a coffee machine. Then somehow, half my closet was hers. I liked living with her, but I started noticing things. Little things. She became curious. At first it was casual. What's the Wi-Fi password again? You still use that old banking app? Then it got deeper. You keep your savings in one account, right? Or do you have investments? I brushed it off. Thought she was just being nosy. But strangely, she never shared much about her finances. I'll show you my credit cards later, she'd say. It's complicated right now, but everything's fine. Then came the phone thing. She always placed its screen down. If I walked by, she'd instinctively cover it with her hand. Habit, she'd say, laughing. Work texts. Nothing juicy. I nodded, but something inside me didn't sit right. Then came Carolyn, Savannah's mother, the queen of unsolicited opinions. Lucas, she said over dinner, you are putting Savannah's name on the house, right? We're not married yet, I replied. Exactly, she said, smiling like a shark. You should. Marriage is a formality. Security is what matters. Her father, John, barely spoke. He always looked distant, like a man who stopped fighting years ago. I started doubting. On paper, it was perfect, beautiful fiancé, connected family, plans for the future. But my gut, it screamed, something's off. So I opened a new bank account, moved most of my savings there, changed passwords for everything, investments, emails, even my calendar. I felt paranoid, but safer. If everything was fine, she'd never know. If it wasn't, I'd be ready. 2 days later, Savannah came back with a business idea. Candles, she said excitedly. Hand-poured custom scents, eco-packaging. Totally my vibe. I smiled. Sounds ambitious. It's not much, she said. Just 3, maybe 4,000 to start, supplies, branding, website. You believe in me, right? I didn't answer. Just looked at her. And for the first time in 5 years, I thought, she's hiding something. The morning after her candle pitch, Savannah was all smiles and soft touches. I don't want to depend on you, Lucas, she said. I want something that's mine. A brand. A mission. It's not about money. It's about freedom. But I wasn't looking at her the same way anymore. Every word felt rehearsed. Every smile perfectly timed. 2 days later, she brought it up casually over coffee. There's a dinner with some potential suppliers and an investor. Sounds serious, I said. Want to come? She paused, then smiled sweetly. Probably not a good idea. It's just boring business stuff. I nodded. Then, 5 minutes after she left, I grabbed my keys and followed. I'm not a stalker. But that night, I sat in my car across from the restaurant, watching Savannah step out of a cab. She wasn't dressed for business. She was dressed to impress. Black dress, heels, red lipstick, the kind she never wore around me. She looked electric, like a woman walking into something exciting. 20 minutes later, a tall guy in a designer coat walked in. They hugged, sat close, ordered wine. She laughed, leaned in, touched his arm. He didn't pull away. He moved closer. That wasn't business. That was a date. The next morning, she came home glowing. She brought me coffee and a croissant. Morning, babe. I missed you last night. How'd the dinner go? I asked. Oh, talk. Not really my people. I nodded. Said nothing. Because now I didn't just have suspicions. I had motivation. That evening, she changed again. Cooked dinner. Wore my favorite dress. Laughed easily. Touched my arm more than usual. I've been thinking, she said, lighting a candle. Let's start the candle brand together. As partners. Yes, you're the strategist. I'm the vision. We're unstoppable. She leaned closer and whispered, we're a team, remember? I smiled. The next morning, her lawyer emailed me. A prenup. Polished. Clean. Highlighted clauses. Asterisk all income earned during the marriage would be considered joint. Asterisk in the event of a divorce, Savannah would receive 50% of all assets. Asterisk I would be required to provide financial support for her candle business. Asterisk I would waive rights to any future investments made in her name. I nearly laughed. A contract where she got everything, and I got the bill. That evening, I showed her the document. Is this a joke? It's protection, Lucas. For both of us. Really? Then where's my protection? She went quiet, smiled tightly. You're just scared. Men always get weird about prenups. I stood up. If you trust me, why do you need a contract that strips me bare while you cash out? For the first time in 5 years, I didn't see fear in her eyes. I saw rage. 2 days later, Carolyn called me. We need to talk. The three of us. No drama. Just adults sitting down. I knew what that meant. This wasn't about talking. It was about pressure. I showed up anyway. We sat in the living room. Carolyn perched on the edge of the armchair, spine perfectly straight. John sat quietly in the corner, like a shadow. Savannah sat next to me, her face blank, lips tight. Lucas, Carolyn began, we all want the same thing, for Savannah to feel safe. She smiled like a lawyer who already knew the verdict. That's why we had the prenup drafted. It's standard. Sensible. I didn't say a word. You love my daughter, don't you? Of course. Then sign, or there won't be a wedding. Savannah glanced at me. Her eyes didn't say please. They said, play your part. I leaned back. You really think I'm that stupid? Carolyn raised an eyebrow. This isn't about intelligence. It's about maturity. Or are you like your father, running away when things get hard? I clenched my jaw. Leave my father out of this. Then sign. No. Sign it, or we'll ruin you. I laughed. Oh, and how exactly will you do that, Carolyn? She leaned in. You're nothing without us. Your clients, your career, your network. We open those doors. We can close them too. Savannah nodded slowly. Mom's right. We made you, and we can unmake you. I looked at them. Everything became crystal clear. The past 5 years? Not love. Not partnership. It was a long, calculated play. You never loved me, I said quietly. Savannah tilted her head, almost pitying me. I tried. I really did. But eventually it just became easier. There it was. The truth. Cold. Clinical. Final. I walked out without saying another word. Behind me, Carolyn shouted, You'll get nothing. No refunds. No deposits. You walk away. You lose it all. And maybe she thought that would scare me. But the moment I stepped out into the cool evening air, I felt free. This wasn't love. This was a business proposal. And they forgot. I know how to do math, too. The next morning, I filed a civil claim. I wanted every dollar back. Venue deposit, catering fees, decor, the dress, the ring, all of it had come from my account. 3 days later, Savannah's lawyer reached out. Let's settle. You return everything, I replied, or we go to court. A week later, the money hit my account. I stared at the notification. I should have felt victorious. But instead, I felt numb. You can recover your money, but you can't recover 5 years of your life. 2 weeks after I got my money back, I thought it was over. Turns out it was just the beginning. I got a message from Jason, a guy I used to lift with at the gym, a mutual friend of mine and Savannah's. Bro, not sure how much you really know, but you deserve the truth. Remember that business dinner Savannah didn't want you at? One of the investors, the tall one, was actually her secret boyfriend. For over 2 years, I called him immediately. She was living with me and dating him at the same time. Yeah, man, you were the backup, the wallet, the plan B. They called it the long game. I felt sick. 2 years. 2 years of lying, while I paid the bills and planned a wedding. The next day, I got a DM from Claire, Savannah's ex-friend. They'd had a falling out a while back. I never knew why. Now I did. I couldn't sleep anymore, she wrote. You need to see this. She sent screenshots. Dozens. Savannah and Carolyn talking like puppet masters. He's totally hooked. He'll sign anything. Push the prenup now. Worst case, we marry and divorce after a year, 50/50ths. Mom said if he resists, turn on the tears. He thinks I'm starting a candle brand. I'm just starting over. With real money. And the worst one, let him think he's loved. That's the only way to trap a man like him. Jason called again that night. After you backed out, that investor guy dumped her. Said he wasn't going to bankroll someone who uses men like chess pieces. Savannah had lost everything. Me, the backup plan, and now the main option too. Then came the biggest surprise. John, Savannah's father. I ran into him at a coffee shop. He looked lighter. Different. Mind if I sit? Sure. He took a deep breath. I knew Carolyn was controlling, but I didn't know just how far she'd go. She had me sign a prenup years ago. Gave her everything. I thought it was love. Turned out, it was leverage. I'm divorcing her, he added. After 33 years. I raised my eyebrows. He smiled. You weren't the only one they tried to ruin. You just had the guts to leave. We talked for an hour. He told me about his new life. A small apartment. A second-hand motorcycle. Dating a woman who worked at a local preschool. It's not fancy, but it's real, he said. And after everything, that's all that matters. Before leaving, he put a hand on my shoulder. You made the right call. Don't ever doubt that. That night, I blocked Savannah. Deleted every trace of her from my life. Didn't look back. People sent me her Instagram stories, dramatic quotes, vague accusations. He abandoned me. Men are so afraid of strong women. Let her post whatever she wants. She tried to make me a step on her ladder. Instead, I became the wall she couldn't climb. 1 month after the settlement, I booked a flight to Bangkok. No announcement. No Instagram post. Just a one-way ticket and a packed backpack. I found a small apartment in Ari. Not a tourist area, just quiet streets and old coffee shops. I spent the first week walking, eating street food, and breathing. For the first time in years, I felt no tension in my chest. No performance. No pretending. I started sleeping again. Not napping. Sleeping. Dreamless. Deep. Savannah faded out of my mind like fog in the morning sun. A friend sent me a screenshot once. She was still posting dramatic quotes. Some men are just intimidated by women who know what they want. Being strong means walking away when you're not valued. Let her say whatever she wants. Let her be the victim of her own story. Some people build a house of lies, then cry when it burns. In Hua Hin, I met a woman named Lana. We talked about books and breakfast. Didn't exchange numbers. No forced smiles. No timeline. No end goal. It felt easy, and that's what I needed most. I wasn't bitter. Not anymore. Just wiser. Now I know. Asterisk, if someone avoids transparency, it's not about privacy. It's about control. Asterisk, if a family pressures you before the wedding, imagine what comes after. Asterisk, and if love needs a contract that drains you dry, it's not love. It's negotiation. I turned 32 sitting on a balcony, drinking mango juice and watching scooters pass by. No fancy suit. No wedding band. No curated life. Just peace. And finally, sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away from someone's game and never look back.